Namaste, guys. I'm so sorry. Sorry about the burp, too, and the 7 chins that I've been showing you a lot lately. But the angels don't want me to say that, so I just want to do a little Palo Santo before we go into Walmart. Yeah, I didn't go into Walmart yet. I didn't go into the... I'm not going to the fancy store. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. So, I'm a man of my word. I'm a woman of my word. And I just want to tell you that I couldn't think. I couldn't think in the store and run the video. So I had to get off because there's so many things to look at. And I did a lot of damage. But I got a lot of good sales. Not only did I get a white pair of pants, I got a beige pair of pants. They're kind of like capris. I got a white pair of capris. I got beige. And I also got these fuchsia. Oh my gosh. They are so comfortable. They have pockets. They have a little tie in the front. I wanted to get them in blue as well, but they didn't have extra large. And I was just happy that I could fit into so roomy extra large and not 2X. But then I got some shirts. And all kinds of things, jewelry. I got all kinds of things, but I can't do an unboxing right now because I got to get my butt into the food store and get home because it's kind of late. But anyway, I'm glad I got out because I needed to get out. But let me light this baby up again, and I'll tell you, being a woman of my word, I said to you, I will let you know what messages I did hear from Maggie, and I didn't do a big deep dive. Maggie and Paul. It's very short, and then I'll take you into Walmart if you want to come in. Okay. I'm only getting very few things in Walmart, because or maybe I won't take you in there. All right. Let me know. I'll know from the energy whether I should take you in there or not. Okay, anyhow. Oh, I like this Palo Santo. That's a good burn, isn't it? Do you see the angels? My headache is still there. But now it's just like in the back of my neck, which sometimes means that it's going to start going like a karate chop to the back of the neck. And then what I need is the heat and the shower and relaxation. Anyhow, so what I wanted to looks like this whole car is all filled up with smoke. Anyway, all right, so when I tapped in very short, I didn't know that they were gonna come, but I told you before, my eyes are green. Sometimes it means I'm getting sick or I'm emotional, or both, tired, but a lot of times it means spirits around me. So I kind of just, in my mind, I watched a video, and sometimes just hearing a video and seeing the pictures of Alec Murdaugh, Maggie Murdaugh, Paul Murdaugh, I get feelings. So this is what I heard. Maggie is not, she went over, they transferred over to the other side together, her and Paul, her and her son. But then they go to different sections. It's like different rooms. Like you go to college and you have different classes to take than your friend or than your son or your daughter. So Maggie said, wow, I never would have believed. I knew that he was doing bad things, meaning her husband, okay? I knew he was doing bad things, but I never, ever thought in my head that it would actually go through with killing me and our son, our baby, our youngest. And I knew about something about 10 years ago. And I was like, what? She wasn't facing me. She was sideways. Her face was sideways. And she goes, you know, I was supposed to live to at least 63. And I didn't know why she said that. My father died, I think, at 64. My mother died at 53. So I think Maggie was 50, 51, 52. Anyway, I wasn't sure why she said she would die at 63. She said at least 63. I was supposed to live to at least 63. I should have gotten out of the marriage, of the whole thing 10 years ago. So what was 10 years ago? 2021, take away 10. I'm so bad at math. 2015. A little bit before 2015, I guess. She found out something. And she goes, it wasn't just money related. Okay, so was it something to do with his affairs? She goes, worse. When you think somebody is a bad person, listen to it. That's what she told me. When you think, you just want to give them credit, you just want to give them chances. But she's telling me, when you have that gut feeling, she goes, Katrina, I could have been remarried by now. Or at least had a nice boyfriend, or at least had a nice life where I would just have the beach house and figure out she goes, the finances would have been hard. But she goes, look at all I had. She goes, I would have still had my children, you know, unless somebody else. She goes, maybe not Paul. Paul was on a bad road. She said the reason why his feet were swollen was liver damage. And she learned a lot of things in heaven, so you are there. She goes, of course, what do you think? She learned a lot of things about parenting. She goes, Katrina, I didn't parent my kids the right way. Although I love them very much, I didn't parent them. She feels bad for Buster. Yeah. She goes, my hope for Buster is that he does a career that he wants to do, and not what his father wants him to do, and not what his uncles want him to do. But she says, I'm not sure that that's going to happen. So she went in her life review. She was totally in, what's it when if you die a violent death, you spend a while, like what is equivalent in our time, like a couple of months, trying to figure out, am I dead? What happened? And especially if a loved one killed you, which I believe AM did. Yes, he was convicted of that. That's my opinion, and I am entitled to it. Okay, so she just said to me, Maggie, it's still Maggie, and she said, Katrina, I should have did things like you did it. And I said, what do you mean? And she goes, well, you had 2 kids. And I said, yes. And she goes, but you actually put time into your career. You graduated from college and you had pushed yourself. You always had your career. She goes, I didn't work. I only, I took care of the kids, which I felt was important. But she goes, I should have maintained a career so that I would have felt like I can transition. She goes, I'm a smart woman. How could I miss all these things with him? And I did love him, and part of me still loves him. She goes, but I knew he was doing the wrong thing for 10 years. She keeps on saying the 10 years. So what happened 10 years before 2021. Was that the thing with Gloria the housekeeper, or was that the thing with Paul and the boat wreck? Yeah, she says a lot of things get covered up. Thank you for talking to me. I didn't even start out to channel you or your son. She said thank you for talking to me too. She has an accent, southern accent. She was like, I wanted a life that doesn't exist. And I should have, she goes, with the life review with Jesus, Jesus showed her, and Mother Mary showed her that although she definitely, believes in God and the angels, but she said, Jesus and Mother Mary showed her that to be a good mother, you have to do what's best for your kids, and that means by example. So she was like, yeah, I shouldn't have been encouraging drinking or drinking myself, or they didn't have anybody who was really the stable one. She goes, maybe, they looked to me for stability, but I kind of just let them do whatever they friggin' wanted to do because they were a Murdaugh. And she goes, I wanted this weird fake. She's showing me Gone with the Wind. But she keeps on saying, but I loved that man. I loved that man, but that man was not that man that I loved or I thought I loved. He was not that person. She's showing me 2 and sometimes 3. So she's saying that he had 2 different personalities or 3 different personalities. But she goes, I just allowed him to disrespect me by what he was doing in terms of the money, stealing, what he was doing in terms of outside affairs. I'm sorry that happened. She goes, it's all good, Katrina. It's all good. You wouldn't believe how beautiful it is up here. And I'm very, very, very honored. She goes, I'm very honored how she was welcomed. Because she goes, it was so, my heart was broken when I looked up and I saw my child, my baby, being shot down by his father. And she went to run to help him. And then she realized he was going to do it to her too. And he did it over and over again. She was injured and she still was trying to go. And then she was on all fours because she goes, Katrina, I was trying to get out of there. I was trying to get away. And he just kept doing it. And then she goes, each bullet just made me like, oh, no, he's a bad person. No, he's a bad man. He's a terrible man with each bullet. She goes, I was so shocked. She goes, I knew that he was doing a lot of bad things with the money. That's why I got the lawyer involved, and that's why I was getting divorced. And she goes, I shouldn't have went there, but I don't want my sister to feel bad. I don't want my sister to blame herself. The whole thing was meant to be, because probably if she didn't do that, he would have been stealing more people's money and the whole thing with, all right, now with Paul. Paul, can I talk to you for a minute? Can I talk to you for a minute? He's like looking the other way. He's looking down. Paul, are you still involved in your life review? Yeah. So what he's shown me is that they showed him, Okay, so Paul did a lot of things when he was little, like hurting animals, um, roughhousing, just like being over the top. But he's saying there's a lot of things related to how he doesn't really blame his mother at all, but he says how his father was like, he's like, Katrina, I I couldn't get any love unless I wanted to go on the same road that my father wanted me on. So tried to be good at like sports. I tried to be good, but I wasn't that great. I tried to be good at school, but I wasn't. He goes, I wasn't great at school, and I was always getting in trouble. He goes, but the best time of my life was the girl that he loved. He showed me a girlfriend, his girlfriend. And he goes, I messed that up. And he goes, up here, they showed me that different directions, things I did, I wasn't having compassion for the animals. I wasn't having compassion for people. And he goes, and I always wanted my father's love. He goes, but I got my grandfather's love. I had my uncle's love. I had my mother's love. But he said my father's love was twisted. And he goes, but I'm taking responsibility for what I did. And now he's showing me that he had a lot of medical problems. Oh my gosh, let me light this. He's saying that he met with Mallory. Mallory Beach is the girl, is it Mallory Beach? I'm pretty sure it's Mallory. Is the girl that died on the boat wreck when he was driving the boat. He goes, Katrina, I apologized to her. Did she accept your apology? He goes, of course. Up here, we forgive each other. Up here, we learn how to love each other. We learn what we did wrong. He goes, but also, I was able to see that some people laughed at my jokes. Some people thought I was funny. He's like, even Mallory's boyfriend that's on Earth. He goes, there's a little piece of, he goes, when somebody loves you, their heart lights up, and we could see it from up here. He goes, when I was on Earth, I couldn't see anybody. He goes, I knew my girlfriend loved me at first, but I did so many mean things to her. I was abusive, and I realized that's wrong. I was emotionally abusive. I was like my father. He goes, I was physically abusive. He goes, and Katrina, I found out that was wrong. I kept having to watch the movies of what I did. They show you like a screen. It's like a whole bunch of computers, big like television screens, all in a room, and it looks like it would be a library, but instead you go in and there's all these television screens, and one is like when he's a baby, another TV is from like ages 1 to 5. And then he spent a lot of time looking at that. He's like, see, Katrina, that's before I changed. What do you mean by that? What do you mean before I changed? He goes, I was actually a cute little kid. Just waiting for love, just waiting for hugs. He goes, I feel like I just made, sometimes I would make my mother mad, and I would make my father disappointed. He goes, but I was cute back then. He said, you know who really loved me, truly loved me, was Gloria, the housekeeper. Somebody's walking by, so I'm just going to keep my Palo Santo over here. Yeah. I remember seeing that. Gloria was really very, very loving to you. Did you see her there? He goes, yes, Katrina, I saw her, and, okay, I'm sorry, showing me that he's running to her. After he got shot, he doesn't like to talk about it. Nobody likes to talk about that, but he just goes like this, nope. So I won't ask him about, like, that moment. Maggie told me about hers, but she looks sideways, like she doesn't look me in the eye when she talks about that part. But Paul said that after he was shot the second time, because the first shot he was walking towards his father, like, what are you doing? And he says that the second shot, he didn't know where he was. He said it was real dark, and he heard the water. He heard like the water from the boat accident. And he goes, at first I thought I was in the boat accident again, because I think he had fallen off the boat or been in the water somehow. So anyhow, he goes, all of a sudden I was there. And he goes, but I didn't see Mallory then. He goes, I saw Gloria, and Gloria said, come here. She had her hands open, her arms open, and she said, come here. Because you got to remember, his mom was not killed until after him. So she had to make her own transition. So Gloria hugged him, and he was like, I can't believe I'm seeing you. And he said, I'm sorry about what happened. I'm so sorry. If I could have done something, I should have done something. And she said, no, let me just hug you. You're safe now. I see him crying, and she's putting her fingers through his hair. I don't know if that's what she used to do. And then he's in a hug with Gloria. He looks up and he sees his mom standing there. And he got up. He got up from the hug from Gloria, and he walked over to his mom, and his mom held his hand, and he was like, where are we? And she said, come with me. They all three of them walked towards the light. And then once they go through, they go separate. They go into a separate realm, because they have to do the life review in different places. Okay? So this is more things that he's learning about. He has to learn right from wrong all over again. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. This is too much. Angels around me. They're showing me Stephen. But they're not really talking to Stephen. Stephen is down over here. Okay, so I'm not gonna talk about that. Just angels surround me. Just gonna do one more. Let's do a cleansing breath. I want to thank you, Paul Murdaugh and Maggie Murdaugh, for talking to me. I'm gonna close this reading, just because that's all I could take. And if you want to talk to me again with prayers when I meditate a little bit harder, this just came through. Ooh, that's a good burn. That's a good burn. This burn is for Maggie Murdaugh and Paul Murdaugh, and hopefully somebody will pay for you guys to get headstones, because I think that's ridiculous that nobody has bought you headstones 2 years later. Okay, Maggie just said, that's not what's important up here, but that would be nice. Anyhow, I'm sending healing prayers, and I want, please, dear God, forgive them, Maggie and Paul, for whatever sins they have had on earth, and please have mercy on them and help them to make the transition fully into heaven, which I know they will be. And please help anybody else who is trying to transition fully. Yeah. Okay, I'm closing this. Angels, please don't show me anything or send any more messages. Protect my brain, protect my third eye, protect my heart. And I thank you. Love you. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, 26 minutes. All right, guys, I didn't know that was going to happen. That took place. I watched, my friend had told me, Flyer B had told me to watch the reporter room, I think it is. And I saw pictures of Maggie and I saw pictures of Paul, and I started hearing things. But I'm at Sonic, and I was like, you know, trying to get rid of the old headache and the migraine. So I just didn't pay attention to it. But then they kept talking, and it was like an open forum, and I was like, I didn't even meditate. I didn't even say my prayers yet. So that's why, you know, I have to ask, and I have the Palo Santo, and I know I'm in the light of Jesus, and the white light of divine is around me. And any messages, maybe it'll help somebody that knows the family. But yeah, she just kept saying about 10 years. I should have done it 10 years ago. Then she goes, it's not that I wanted to have a boyfriend or another husband. She goes, but I wanted to have a nice life, a Southern belle. She still wanted to have, like, be invited to parties and be invited and be on the social scene. But she knew that there was going to be a big problem with the money, because she let Alex handle all the money. So she really didn't know what was going on with the money, except she would get money and do what she had to do. But that's why she was saying she wished that she would have utilized her career and her education. Yes, people should always depend on themselves. Don't be dependent on a man or a woman. Have your own. God bless the child that has his own. Okay, guys, I gotta go. I gotta get into the store. It looks like they're friggin' closing, and it's really late. But I'm glad I got this out, and I hope it helps somebody somewhere, somehow. And I love you all. Namaste. I'll show you my clothes another time. They're in the back. They're in the trunk. I'll probably wear something that I bought tomorrow, because I like to wear a new outfit. Anyhow, love you guys. Namaste.